today we're going to be talking about budgets and why your growing trade business needs a budget. So, this is going to be for any contractor. It's going to be for the beginning contractor as well as ones that are multi-million dollars. If we don't have a budget in place, how are we going to know how much we're going to need in the future? Especially for seasonal businesses like yours and also like mine. My business is also a seasonal business. And there are ways that we can avoid that crunch time, that feast or famine feeling to where if we have one slow month, what's going to happen? Setting up a budget is actually going to help you be, you know, give you some peace of mind knowing that you do have enough reserves or that you have a plan in place to make sure that you don't, overrun or have to use emergency credit. So just real quick, what every growing contractor must know, by the end of this video, you'll know how a simple budget smooths slow seasons and ends the feast or famine cycle. So feast in June, famine in January, that is most people's season. So busy season, money disappears before the winter ever arrives. Every slow season feels like a surprise, even though it happens every year. Trucks, tools, and the hires get bought on gut feeling and not a plan. That one is a big one I want to discuss because I've had a lot of contractors, especially back when we had the big truck boom. Everybody wanted a big truck. They were buying Hummers like they were crazy, like it was crazy. Interest rates were low. But what happened is then gas went up and it was very expensive to operate that equipment. But they also did it when they really didn't have the funds to do it. They were buying it just to get the write-offs. But it was a write-off that a lot of them didn't even need. And unfortunately, me as their accountant, they did not let me know until after they bought it. So those are things that need to be discussed and budgeted to make sure that it's a need, something you need for your business versus just a want. It's nice to have that new fancy truck, but if the rest of your fleet is falling apart, it's probably not a necessary expense. So a good thing is to always have a budget in place so that you know that when you need to buy something because it's a need, that you have the funds available to do it rather than just wanting something nice. So a budget is a roadmap, not a restriction. So what it is, a 12-month plan for money coming in and money going out, one page, and it's updated monthly. Most softwares can handle this. If not, there's other softwares out there, or you could work with someone like myself that's going to come up with a plan that's going to be really specific to you. Some of the other ones could be pretty generic. They're not really figuring out what is the actual increase every year for your insurance or your rent or whatever, because they're not looking back far enough. But even if you only do the one-page document that's from your software, and it's just comparing last year to this year, that's still a plan. It's just if you want to get into the nitty gritty stuff and be a little bit more specific in that, you're probably going to need to hire someone to help you out with that budget. So the rule, build it from last year's actuals, not wishful thinking. Your bank statement already knows your seasons. So all you have to do is look at when your slow season is based on your revenue stream each month, and you'll know what your slow months are. So why it moves. It turns the slow season from a crisis into a line item you funded back in July. So in January, when it's your slow season and you're kind of struggling for some funds, you're going to already have known this back in July. So this month is the time now to plan for January as far as cash flow goes. Right now it's January 7th, and I'm not sure what day you'll see this video, but if you're planning it right now, then in January, when you hit your slow season, you're not going to be so much of you won't be in a crisis. So Mike's HVAC winter turnaround, this is just an example of not a specific client, just an example. But before, when he had no budget, every year for January and February, he had an $18,000 shortfall. He did have revenue, but he just always seemed to be about $18,000 short every single year on those 2 months. Maybe a big bill came through, maybe their insurance premium or their workers' comp or something crazy always came in during that time, or increases in their rent or a deposit or something just every year it happened, but he just never planned for it. He had to take money from an emergency credit line. He skipped his own paychecks just to make sure that he had enough money in the bank to pay for the employees that he had on hand and keep his business open. But after, he started a plan. So in May, he started setting aside $4,500 a month just from May to October, his busy season. And that way he knew that when he was going into January, not only could he pay himself, but he could pay his staff, pay his bills, everything like that without touching his emergency reserves. Emergency credit lines really should only be used for maybe a big project that you have where you just don't have the cash flow, or there's a lot of upfront cost for you and you don't get a large enough deposit to cover that upfront cost. Or maybe you need a new piece of equipment or something that you didn't really know you were going to need, and it's an emergency. You need it for a job that's coming up, but you're going to be able to pay that right back pretty fast. That's the only time that emergency credit line should be used. But in this case, he did have $27,000 of a winter cushion, so that if he did have additional expenses during his slow time, he didn't have to worry about borrowing it from a high interest emergency credit line. So the good news is this is completely fixable. If you're in that situation where you're running into months where it's slow season and you're kind of scrambling for cash, You don't need more jobs necessarily if you're doing well. You just need to plan a little bit better. So if you have the money that this busy season brings in, we'll be able to roll over into those months. So it's one page, 1 hour a month. Basically, you're reviewing your numbers every month, and January stops being so scary. Real quick interruption. If you're finding this useful, we appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notifications for other videos that we will have posted. We try to do 2 videos a week, at least one, but at least two or two. Make sure that you also share this with any contractors that maybe are new in the business, or maybe they just don't have a lot of information being given to them. I'm sure that they'd appreciate it. And we appreciate it also. It helps our channel out, and we want to grow and reach out to more contractors. So do you know right now how much cash it takes to get you through the next slow season? If the answer is no, you're not sure, then you definitely want to make sure that you are doing your homework and looking into how to set up a budget for your business. So this is what you're going to do to set up your budget for your business. You are going to pull the last 12 months of bank statements. You're going to list your monthly fixed cost. If you have financial statements, that will work also, but the bank statement is probably going to be better, so you kind of get a feel of those numbers. You're going to put all of your fixed cost on there. That's going to be your rent. It's going to be your insurances. It's going to be your car payments or your truck payments or the interest payments on those things. You're going to put all of those things so that you know exactly what your expenses are. These are the expenses that you're going to have no matter what. It's not going to be your labor in-house. So if you have slow seasons, but you still have a staff in your shop or in your warehouse or from your home office or whatever, you need to make sure you include that, including your own salary. Map your slow months and total the gap. So when you look at your months you have negatives, your net profit is negative, that is the months that you need to save for. So you know that you're going to have a gap of income, and you're going to be eating into a credit line or into your savings or something like that that you didn't plan for. Number 4, set an automatic monthly transfer to a reserves account during your busy season. So like I said, in the case that we showed earlier, it was May through October. He set aside $4,500. He knew his shortfall was going to be $18,000, and he was able to set aside $27,000, a little bit of cushion for either taxes or an unexpected bill or something, just so that he wouldn't have to use that. The feast or famine, sometimes when we're in the feast part, we end up spending a little bit more than we need to, and we don't plan as well as we should. So we are a full accounting and tax office. We do year-round planning, tax services, everything like that. We also are a fractional CFO, which means that we work with our clients on their numbers. We meet with them at least quarterly to review those numbers, and we make sense of those numbers for them so that they can make better managerial decisions. But we also offer what's called a CFO financial health checkup, you could say. It's kind of a blueprint. We set up your standards of procedures, or operating procedures, you could say, for your staff. This is going to be something that could be handed to them directly and change the way that they do things in your office or in the field or whatever. It's going to be it's going to be like duplicating yourself, you could say. So we work closely with you. It doesn't take too long. It takes about 2.5 weeks to do. We set it, there's different ranges of what we offer. It could be just basic services all the way to elite services or platinum plan. And that is going to be more for a larger company or something, or someone who not only needs it for their field people, but their office people, their bookkeeping departments, things like that. But we also have it just for the startup guy, the guy who just needs some procedures set up so that he can start his business and start hiring people and have something in place. The standard operating procedures is also part of the hiring packaging. How do you hire people? What kind of things do you do to vet them to make sure that in the busy times that you're not scrambling on how to hire someone? The people will be out there, but if you're not hiring properly, you may always get a bad apple. So some of the other things that I was talking about, the accounting, bookkeeping, tax preparation, planning, CFO advisory services, those are the services that we offer also. You can find any links or anything like that if you want to get on my calendar, talk to me in person. If you have an email question, you want to send me an email, you could reach out to me through my website. You could put a comment, concern, anything like that in the comments section. And like I said, please make sure that you like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share this video with anybody who may need some guidance. And we'd love to talk to you. If not, we will see you in the next video. Thank you.